started. So I've got a great little topic for you this evening, as you can see from the heading, and I know that most of you are going to get a huge amount of value from this. What I'm about to talk about this evening, you may be aware of it and you may not, but it doesn't really matter because it's what I'm going to give you at the end, which is going to take you through the barrier, which I'm going to discuss this evening. So, evening guys, as you're joining, just stick in the comments whereabouts you are hopping on from in the UK or further afield in the world, wherever you're jumping on from. So, let's get into the meat of it. What we're going to discuss this evening is something that holds a lot of people back. Now, in network marketing, one of the greatest aspects of network marketing in order for you to have success is duplication. So it's not what you do, it's what duplicates, which will lead to your success, because there's only so many people that you can speak to, only so many customers you can get for your product or service. Now, that's why it's so crucial that you have something that can duplicate. Now, there's something that holds a lot of people back in duplication, which I'm going to discuss and share with you this evening. But most importantly, I'm going to give you a strategy or an action plan which will actually allow you to overcome this and turn the tables on your fortunes if this is something that you are actually falling foul of, and most people do. So good evening guys, as you are joining, as always, just let me know you are there. Drop me some reactions, stick in the comments where you're hopping on from. So what we're going to discuss tonight is the influencer skill. Now, some of you may have seen this before, some of you not, so just bear with it as I go through it. Now, what the influencer skill is it is a skill between 1 and 10 which dictates someone's level of influence on those in their network. Now, I'm going to use the flip chart just to demonstrate a couple of points on this particular area this evening. So just bear with me while I just hop it on. So at the top, obviously we've got 10, obviously 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Now, the way the influencer skill works is someone that is a score 1, so down here, is someone with almost, well, no influence whatsoever. So not to want to put anyone down as such, but to give you a couple of examples. I think it's important that you get an idea from what I'm talking about here. Is if you think of maybe a homeless person, so someone on the street, that's a good example of someone who has 1 on the influencer scale. So no one is really going to take them very seriously. And if a homeless person grabs you on the street and said, look, I've got something amazing I want to show you, I think it would really interest you, most people wouldn't even pay them the time of day. So hopefully that makes sense to you. It could be someone that's had almost a bit of a recluse-like life, where they've had very little contact with other people. Again, could be someone at the bottom end of the influencer scale, purely because people don't know who they are. They've had no influence or interaction with people, therefore they are at the bottom end of the scale. Now, if you take it to the top end of the scale, you're now talking about the most influential people on the planet. So if you were to take some people, maybe like Bill Gates or Tony Robbins, Barack Obama, so anyone of the kind of highest stature possible. So if you imagine, if you got a phone call from Tony Robbins, for those in the network marketing industry, you're obviously going to know who this is. If he was to pick up the phone to you and say, hey, I've got something I want to run past you, I think it's going to be of massive interest to you, you are not going to hesitate in listening to what he has to say. You probably wouldn't even have to finish his sentence. The mere fact that he's phoning you would perk your ears up. Now, that is an example, so I'll just put that on here just as an example. So Tony Robbins up here, maybe your homeless dude down the bottom. Now, this isn't to disrespect anyone, I'm just trying to give you examples here of where people would potentially fit. Guys, if you can see the flip chart, can you just drop some comments in to let me know that you can see it okay? I have flipped the camera on the Facebook Live, so hopefully you can read it okay. I'm seeing that people are joining, but I'm not seeing any comments whatsoever yet. I know there is a tendency for Facebook Live to delay, but anyway, I shall carry on. Now, what you need to do initially is you need to make a self-assessment. So you need to think to yourself, whereabouts on the influencer scale am I? Now, you could be absolutely anywhere, and a lot of people are either punished or rewarded for their life prior to network marketing. Now, if you have been a giver, so you have provided a lot of value to your network and invested in your network, and you've done well at everything you have done previous to network marketing, there's a good chance that you're going to edge yourself up the influencer scale so that people will listen to you, they will see you as credible, and it's really going to help you out in order to invite people to look at your business opportunity or your product or service, whatever it is that you have going on. On the other hand, if you have led a very selfish life where you're a taker, maybe you haven't given much to your network, maybe you haven't invested much time into them, maybe you've not really taken seriously much that you've done in your life, well, this is an example of someone who would be slightly punished initially when they start network marketing. Now, the good news is, no matter where you are, you can obviously move yourself up the influencer scale, which we will discuss in just a second. So you don't need to be downbeat on yourself, you just need to appreciate that it's going to take you a little bit more time to establish yourself as a credible person and someone of a greater level of influence as you go through your time in the industry. So just be patient with it. So let's talk about what happens inside the network marketing and the reason that people, their business slows in terms of duplication. So let's say you've just started and let's say in this example, you are a 4. So let's say that you have started in your network marketing company and you're a 4 on the influencer scale. So you're not at the bottom, but you're kind of average, maybe just below average in terms of influence. Now, what happens is, let's say I'm a 4. What typically happens in network marketing is I go out there and then I start to speak to people, obviously to invite to my business opportunity, to my product, to my service. Now, tell me in the comments, guys, as you watch, give me a number. So I'm a number 4 on the influencer scale. What sort of number on the influencer scale do you think I'm going to speak to invite to my business opportunity, to invite to my product or service? So if you just stick in the comments what number or what numbers you think I would be approaching, that would be interesting to see. Again, I'm not seeing any comments whatsoever yet, so hopefully they are coming through and I'll pick them up afterwards. Now, I'll tell you now, as you're hopefully writing some figures in the comments, for most people, Caroline, thank you very much. Somebody is alive out there. Good to have you on, Caroline. So 3, yeah. So if I'm a 4, I am absolutely going to go and speak to some 3s, maybe some 2s and 1s. Now, what I'm trying to get across to you here is this is what happens. So I'm a 4. Now, everyone that I'm going to speak to initially about my business opportunity, my product or my service is typically going to be a 4 or below. Why is that? So if you can figure out why do you think it might be that I would be approaching a 4 or below if I myself am a 4 on the influencer scale. Now, it might be occasionally you might get someone that goes and speaks to a 5. That's common, but not huge amounts. Certainly, almost everyone doesn't go much above 1 point above where they set themselves. Now, the reason behind that, if you've not worked it out already, which I'm sure you have done, is that to go up the influencer scale, these are people who you typically look up to. So they are more of a credible authority figure than yourself. They have more influence in the network than you have. Therefore, they are typically the A players on your list and on your network. And what that means is that for you to speak to them, it causes fear. So you are apprehensive about speaking to anyone who is above you on the influencer scale. Now, what happens, I'm going to show you the reason that this slows your duplication and slows the growth within your business when you work like this. So easier for you to believe in yourself if you go down below your 4. Yeah, it's Caroline, absolutely right. So it's easier for you to believe in yourself, but most importantly, we do, humans, for the large part, we do what is comfortable. So what you need to learn in this industry is that, or any walk of life really, but typically this industry is that in order for you to be successful, you need to push yourself into growth. And growth is normally found where you feel uncomfortable, guys. And it only feels uncomfortable until you've done it enough. So with repetition makes you more comfortable, and what used to cause you fear will no longer cause you fear. So feel the fear and do it anyway if you like. Now, let's just get to what happens. So let's say I go out there, I've just started my new network marketing business, and I go and start to speak to my network as normal. Now, I'm gonna maybe do, let's say I go and I'm brave enough to speak to 2 5s. let's say I then go and speak to maybe four fours of equal number to me, and then I might go and speak to, let's say, 10 threes, maybe 5 twos, and I might speak to some ones as well. Now you can see the pattern here. So my recruitment of new team members in my company is going to be dominant of people who are lower on the influencer scale than me. Now, what do you think happens when I start them off on their journey and they begin to connect with their network and invite them to their business, their opportunity, their products or their service? Well, typically what's going to happen is people do what you do. So they are essentially going to, so if you, all of the people you've invited, let's say you invite or find 10 people who are threes, typically they're going to find more threes and twos and ones. So you can see that your team is going to slowly become less and less influential on those people around them, on the network that they hold. So as I said, guys, I don't want anyone getting downbeat here, because there is ways around this which I will share with you towards the end of the live tonight. So don't get downbeat. I just want to show you a good example of what happens. So they'll talk to the homeless guy. Yeah, Caroline. So absolutely what they'll do is they'll typically move on to speaking to people with less and less and less influence. Now, what would happen if you go back to you being a 4 again, if you go into your network and you find someone who is a 6. Now, if you do that, that's immediately going to change the trend in your business. So instead of you looking downwards, you've plucked up the courage to go and invite someone who is a couple of points higher than you on the influencer scale. What that is going to do is it's going to set a trend across your organization. The reason being, people do what you do. So if you've done that and you speak to a couple of 6s and successfully get them over the line, they're interested, they get started with you, what happens is, yes, you're still going to go and approach those people who are similar, so the 4s and below. You're not going to ignore them. You're still going to pursue, connect with these people, absolutely. However, you're going to show them that you have a system and you have already had the experience of going up the influencer scale. You've been brave enough to do so, and it's going to show across the growth of your business. Now, what happens then? The couple of people you speak to who are a 6, what happens then is you get them started, they repeat the process, but this time they then have the courage to go and speak to some 8s. So you can see what happens here. You move further and further up the influencer scale from people within your organization just by you being the catalyst for that. So you have to start it. There is no way that anyone else is going to do it unless you lead from the front, unless you do it yourself. So you need to start the trend. Now, you can see the pattern here. I don't need to go through the full thing. What is eventually going to happen is you're going to end up with someone who is incredibly influential in your organization, and there is certain stories across the globe where that one person is the turning point for someone's entire life, and they are a complete and utter game changer for their business. And that is exactly what can happen if you merely pluck up the courage to face this and invite. And again, guys, I'm going to show you or give you the option of finding out exactly how you can do this at the end, because it is possible. So that is just got some notes here, just let me have a quick look. As I said, this is what happens as you go through this trend. It is incredibly important that you do this, otherwise you can see the opposite example, which is that your team becomes stagnant. You end up with a lot of people who lack influence, and they also lack the knowledge and skill on how they can actually enhance and improve their influence, which is something I'm going to mention briefly towards the end. So we're happy, guys. If this is making sense to you, just drop me some comments, drop me some reactions, some likes. I hope it is making sense to you, and you can see the flip chart as well. So we know that those that are lower on the influencer scale are going to struggle initially. They're going to have to work harder, do more personal development, and improve what they have to offer the world. They have to learn how to give value in order to increase their own value in their network. Those that are obviously towards the top have a slightly easier life initially, because prior to network marketing, they've already invested in their network. They have invested in themselves, and they have given prior to this industry, so they have an easier ride initially. So as I said before, it is not what you do that makes the difference in your organisation. Now, I have many people in my own organisation, many friends who are not even in the same company, and they have the same stories now. They've all faced this battle I have myself, in the respect that you need to find and be brave enough to approach the people who are A players in your network. Now, I've got something to say to you, which may be new to you, and you may not have actually thought of this before, but believe it or not, these people who are at the bottom half of the influencer scale, what these people are typically the most skeptical. So they are the less open-minded to opportunities, they're less open to exploring business opportunities, they're less motivated to go out and change their circumstances, and that is an accurate trend on the majority of people that sit in the lower end of this influencer scale. Now, obviously there is always anomalies, and you'll find people who are incredibly motivated and they are worth a lot of value, they've just not demonstrated it to their network previously, and that is a case for a lot of people. However, what I will tell you is why you should be brave enough to go to the top is because those people at the top, they tend to be more open-minded, they are more receptive to ideas and opportunities, they're more receptive to business opportunities, and they know that it is one of the worst mistakes you can make in the world to turn down an opportunity without doing your due diligence and analysing, scrutinising and looking into that said opportunity. So these people, guys, are actually the people who are going to pay you the most amount of respect, the most amount of time. You have to invite them in a particular way, which we'll discuss in just a second. However, just be rest assured that these people at the top of the influencer scale are the ones that not only are they're going to be potentially a game changer in your business, but they're also going to be someone who actually listens to what you have to say. Now, of course, they are probably going to be successful already. That doesn't mean that they are going to, you know, join you or take part in whatever you have to offer in terms of your business opportunity. However, what it does mean is that if it's not for them, they are probably more than likely going to give you some form of credit for, you know, connecting with them, inviting them, asking them to take a look at it, and they're probably going to wish you the best of luck in your venture. Unlike the people at the bottom of the influencer scale, a lot of those people are the ones who are skeptics and knock you with narrow-minded comments that they've pulled in from Dave from the pub. So just be assured, guys, that is pretty much how it works. Now, I'm going to finish in a second with something that you're going to get really valuable. So if this has made sense to you, I don't know if Facebook Live is having my eyes out, but I've seen very little in the way of comments. So if you are there, obviously give me some thumbs up, give me some reactions, drop something in the comments. Let me know this has been valuable for you. If you've got value from it, just stick value into the comments box. Now, you might be thinking there now, okay, John, I hear your point. Now, how on earth am I going to pluck up the courage? What do I say to one of these influencers? So I'm looking up in my list, in my network. I have, you know, maybe I'm a 5, I have quite a few 6s, 7s and 8s. Absolutely, you might have them in there. Chris, how you doing? Good to see you, buddy. So, Shane, thanks very much, mate. Caroline, Helen, thank you very much. So, I know that you guys are going to want to get the final piece of information here which pulls it all together. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, as I said a minute ago, what on earth do I say to someone who sits towards the top of the influencer scale? Now, trust me, there is a way to do it. And all you have to do in order to get it is you have to like or react to the video. You have to comment in the video. So I'm going to be able to give you, so I'll personal message this across to everyone who asks for it, a rejection-free way of you connecting and inviting someone who is a top influencer in your network to take a look at your business opportunity. Now, it is a super simple way, it's just that most people don't know how to do it. So this is completely rejection-free, and it will give you the confidence to approach these A players in your network, so the people who are the top influencers that you have in your network. All you have to simply do is obviously like or react to the video, comment in the feed that you would like a copy of the rejection-free way of inviting them. And then if you've got value from this, guys, as always, I would appreciate if you've got some team members that need to hear the message, let's tag them in the video. If you know someone, if you've got a team group, let's share it across to your team group, or share it on your personal profile. If you have a lot of network marketers in your group, or on your friends list, let's share it to your friends list. I'm always really appreciative of you guys, most importantly being on the live and interacting with the content. I'm extremely grateful that you are getting a lot of value from the content. I am humbled by some of the comments that have come my way privately as well, so I really am grateful for all your kind words. Again, let's share as much of this training out to people as possible. If you have other people that can benefit from hearing this message and how they can invite top influencers in their network to take a look at what they are doing successfully, then let's share the message. As I said, guys, if you want a copy, you just need to put it in the comments, and I will be happy to connect with you individually, and I will personal message you a way in which you can invite these people and to take a look at your business opportunity, and quote unquote rejection free. What that means for you and your team as you grow one, or your existing team if you have one, it means that they will actually have the courage to do it, because there is no rejection involved, which is usually one of the primary factors for holding people back from connecting with people and inviting them to take a look at what they do. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. As I said, influencer scale, think to yourself as a summary, the people at the bottom, think to the people at the top, your Tony Robbins, your Barack Obama, your Bill Gates. Think to yourself a little bit of a self-assessment, and if you're unsure, speak to someone else who you can trust to tell you the truth and get a gauge of where you sit. Then when you're connecting and looking at your network, you will know when someone is of a higher influencer level than you. Why? Because you will be nervous and apprehensive to even speak to them, and what I will give you will alleviate that, guys. So hopefully you got value tonight. As always, I'm going to leave you for the rest of your Monday evening. Have a great remainder to your day, and I will see you all tomorrow at 7 PM, guys. Take care. Appreciate having you guys on.